Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you this special bulletin. In this, the latest edition of Did He Actually Say That? What on God's Green Earth is going on? We got an article from Kotaku, an actual gaming news article. I know. Clutch your pearls. Hold on to your seats. This one is going to be fun. Kotaku doing their job. My goodness, where's our reviews, Kotaku? Low blow? Anyway. Ex-Blizzard executive dragged, rightly so, for suggesting gamers start tipping. Mike Ybarra, former Blizzard president Mike Ybarra, made waves. Oh boy, that's one way to say it. Make waves recently when he suggested that gamers might want to start tipping their favorite games extra. You want us to give these developers extra money. These same developers who are constantly calling us istophobes, calling us incels and bigots and racists and all this other stuff. Oh yes, absolutely. They deserve every little bit of extra money. How about you first, Mike? Quote, I've often thought, I wish I could give you a liar. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. I've often thought, liar. I wish I could give these folks another $10 to $20 because it was worth more than my initial $70 and they didn't try and nickel and dime me with every second. It's something he tweeted last week. It was a well-intentioned thought experiment that seemed to miss the forest for the trees. That is called the understatement of the century. Ybarra has seemingly had a lot of free time recently after suddenly leaving Activision Blizzard amid mass layoffs following the acquisition from Microsoft, where he also worked as a corporate VP for many years. My goodness, the idea of tipping any developer when half the time, probably more than half the time, we can't even get a functioning game day 1 or day 14, or in some cases, day never. Bugs, glitches, Bugthesda, CD Projekt Red. Yes, I'm going to call out Cyberpunk 2077 because regardless of my absolute adoration and love for that game, there is no denying the massive shit show that game was on release. To say otherwise would disingenuous lie, and I'm going to do my best to avoid that. Heaven forbid. But the idea, we should tip these game developers because we're playing so many hours and they're not trying to nickel and dime us to death. Oh my goodness, they deserve more money. Well, how about this? Here's a tip, and a lot of people have been saying this. It's the exact same sentiment. It's a no-brainer. Here's a tip. Make a good game, and gamers will throw their money at you. What is so hard to think? What is so difficult about that? Yes, I know I'm beating the dead horse every single time I bring this up, but $70, sure. Nobody's going to have a problem paying $70 for a game, maybe even $100 if you play your cards right, if, and only if, you take the chance and deliver a finished product that has a good story, interesting characters, is pretty to look at, and is complete. Bug-free? What about that? Oh, but that's impossible! Can you at least try to, I don't know, make gamers not feel like beta testers all the time? Early release games unfinished, and then wanting to charge $70 for it. But Mike Ybarra seems to think that, we should give them a tip, an extra $10, an extra $20. Huh. How about no, Mike? Oh, the longtime gaming business guy has been binging massive single-player games on PC like Horizon Forbidden West, The Last of Us, and Final Fantasy VII Remake, and tweeting out thought leadery trial balloons like, I've always fundamentally believed if you make great games, the rest of the business, other problems minimize. That's correct. Mike Ybarra can actually have an intelligent thought, because yes, if you make a great game, of course, nowadays, if you just make a good game, all the other problems are minimized. It's amazing what gamers will accept, or in some cases, just flat out ignore, if it's fun. The gameplay loop is fun, interesting, with a beautiful world. Oh, his latest idea is adding a tip button. Jesus, mother and... Please don't give them ideas, because you will definitely have people like Ubisoft and Activision doing this, putting a tip button to games so players can shell out a few bucks extra after watching the credits roll on games that left them in awe and didn't try to nickel and dime them with microtransactions. Again, let's see. Games like HZD, Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War, Red Dead Redemption 2, Baldur's Gate 3, and Elden Ring, etc. I know $70 is already a lot, especially when these are digital releases. There's no overhead. There's no inventory. There's no CDs to press. There's no really going gold anymore in the video game industry, considering everything, almost everything, is a digital download. Why are these games $70 when there's zero overhead involved? There's no shipping cost. There's no packaging cost. There's no production cost. So how do you justify the $70 price tag? Anyway, it's already a lot, but it's an option at the end of the game. I wish I had at times. You liar. Everybody join with me in I almost said chat again. God damn it. In the comment section, everybody, let's press X to doubt on this nonsense. Some games are that special. You want to know what makes a game special? The fun factor, the replay value, and if the developer, the writer, the stories, the animators, for whatever game you wish to play, you want to dish out $70 for, if it's fun, if it's really, really special to the player, well, then that player is going to remember the developer. And they're going to buy their next game, no questions asked. Just like Cyberpunk 2077, because of the work that CD Projekt Red did on The Witcher 3. Fantastic game. CDPR could do no wrong. And of course, they released Cyberpunk 2077, and it all came crashing down to earth like an elephant. That's where you get your tips. You get greater sales on the next game, on the next project that you do moving forward. When you put out a masterpiece, when you put out something that hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of gamers can enjoy for weeks, if not months on end, you do such a fantastic job that you'll get those pre-order numbers, no matter how many times people suggest do not pre-order, no matter what you think of the developer. But when you make a good game, gamers will forget about the nonsense, and they'll pre-order your next project, no questions asked. They won't wait for a review because they have faith in your company. They have faith in the development process and the writers and the voice actors and all these different things. They have faith that the next game you put out is going to be just as good, if not better, than your previous product. That is where these developers will get their tips. They will get more money from the gamers who just want something fun to play. Now, this may come as a shock. The article continues, players immediately started roasting the former executive for what sounded to some like a request for a charity button, which is exactly what it is. Some freaked out at the idea of being asked to spend even more money to play a game. Oh my goodness, do you want to play this game again? Well, go ahead and give us another $5 payout. That way you can play the game again. New Game Plus, you want that? Extra $10. My goodness, I know every single one of you is feeling the same way. The absolute terror of the idea that that's going to happen. You want New Game Plus? Here's an extra $10. And people will shell out for it because you'll get enough people. Oh God, it's not even the whales that will do it. I want to play again. Here's another $10. It's just another $10. That is the mentality that happens. Well, I've already spent $70. Here's another $5. And I'll get to play the entire game all over again, even though that's something that's been in the game already. Again, this is speculation. This is anxiety-filled and depressions speculation, but speculation nonetheless. And it would not be surprising to me at all can you imagine within the next 5 years that they put a New Game Plus charity button, tip button, or whatever? Oh, Lord. IGN video director Destin Blegery? Ligari, probably put this line of criticism the most succinctly. Quote, I think the billion and trillion dollar companies can handle compensating their employees fairly instead of relying on a tip from me, he wrote in his response. Because it's not like my money goes to the combat designer or level artist. It goes to the corporate piggy bank. You are correct on that one, sir. My goodness. Mikey Barr's recent tipping suggestion grasps a central tension in the current state of gaming, but fumbles the bag on how to actually address it. I'm sorry. Central tension in the current players hate buying a game only to load it up and find there's another store inside. Yep, getting a little tired of the predatory microtransactions that prey on individual impulse control, fear of missing out, and pretty colors. I get to look pretty in my armor while I slaughter all the mutants in a single player game. But I'm going to look pretty for myself and for my screenshots. God, get off that fucking high horse. Many big budget single player games cost too much to make. Well, then maybe go back to basics instead of relying on pretty bells and whistles and super ooper duper realistic graphics. Go back to basics. Gaming 101. Make the game fun first. And have the graphics slightly toned down, but still aesthetically pleasing. Until there are better rules in place for profit sharing, and making sure, quote, voting with your wallet type logic actually goes to the creators it's meant to support. It's hard not to see paying extra as just another handout to the shareholders. The idea of them asking, you should tip. What do y'all think? Should we be tipping? Now, I believe some free-to-play games, and I think one, a geolocation phone game that I had, it was free-to-play, but it was created by one guy, one person. And he had a button for buy me some coffee. I thought it was pretty neat. I bought him some coffee once or twice. Stuff like that, it's okay. When you have a free-to-play game, they'll have, I guess, the premium currency that people will buy. They'll have the battle passes that people will buy. Because if players do enjoy these games enough from particular developers, they will purchase more of that developer's games. Or, again, in the case of, maybe a bad example, Fortnite, because Epic really needs all the extra money. You'll buy the battle pass. You'll buy the V-Bucks and whatnot. Put that on any game that you thoroughly enjoy that either does not cost a lot to play or is free to play. That is one way that I have used in the past, and I'm sure others have used in the past, to show their appreciation for a game that someone has gotten 500 to 1,000 hours out of and has only put in $40 entry fee, but it has the extra money, it has the extra battle pass. There's ways to do that. But the idea of doing that for a $70 so-called AAA title, premium price tag title, if games cost too much to make, then maybe you're doing it wrong. Let me know what you think in the comments. Leave a like, leave a dislike. Oh, are you looking forward to the tipping button to play New Game Plus? It's coming. I hope I'm not a Nostradamus on this one. Do all those nifty little things YouTubers make you do. I hope to see you on the next one. Bye-bye.